In 1929, the U.S. stock market crashed. It caused a global economic catastrophe that would last until World War II. Some Americans, disillusioned by capitalism and the failure of the banks, looked to communism and socialism as alternatives for dealing with crippling poverty, social inequality, and the global threat of fascism. Communist Party membership grew during the Great Depression. In 1932, Franklin Roosevelt won the presidency in a landslide Democratic victory. The New Deal included controversial measures for collective bargaining, welfare, housing, infrastructure, and trade. These programs gained traction among liberals, but many Republicans feared New Deal programs would move America towards communism. In 1938, the committee became known as the House Committee on Un-American Activities, or HUAC. HUAC investigated suspected fascist or communist actions carried out by private citizens, public employees, and organizations. In 1941, the work of HUAC was put on hold. The entire world was gripped by war. The US and the USSR were allied against the Axis powers. Hollywood was drafted into the war effort. Filmmakers were positioned into the Office of War Information, and the U.S. government began co-editing Hollywood features to ensure movies like Mission to Moscow showed Soviet allies in a positive light. The end of the war dissolved the alliance with the Soviet Union, and the fear of communism resurged. By the end of the decade, China, North Vietnam, and North Korea fell under communist control. Fearful of communist expansion and nuclear war, the U.S. became infatuated with a doctrine of containment, according to which communism was a political and cultural contagion that needed to be isolated at all costs. In 1946, conservatives took control of the House and Senate and began applying the doctrine of containment inside the United States. HUAC resumed its work, turning its gaze to Hollywood. It started investigating potential communist subversion in film. Films that showed the Soviet Union as an ally, films previously endorsed and co-produced by the Office of War Information, were now viewed as enemy propaganda. Writers, actors, and directors were subpoenaed to testify at hearings. Those who refused were charged with contempt of Congress. When pressed by Congress and vocal anti-communists, the studio heads caved, firing those who were suspected communists, starting an industry-wide blacklist. Using the politics of fear, the blacklist continued for more than a decade. HUAC was formally terminated in 1975.